Hi, every, e, ever gone. Today I want to share something personal. Something I learned the hard way. It's about love, but not the kind you see in movies. The kind where you try so hard and still lose yourself. This is the story of the hard lesson I learned about trying to make someone love me. A few years ago, I really liked someone. Actually, I didn't just like them, I cared about them deeply. They were funny, kind sometimes, and when they smiled at me, it felt like the best thing in the world. The problem, they didn't feel the same way. But I didn't want to believe that, so I told myself, if I try harder, maybe they'll love me back. At first, it felt harmless. I started doing small things to make them happy. I would always be there when they needed to talk. I listened to their problems for hours. I remembered their favorite snacks, their favorite songs, the things that made them laugh. I thought, if I show them how much I care, they'll see I'm the right person for them. But slowly, something started to change. Not them. Me. I stopped saying what I really felt. If they canceled plans, I said, it's okay, even when it hurt. If they didn't text back for hours, I said, they're just busy. Even when I felt ignored. If they talked about liking someone else, I smiled and gave advice. Then I went home and cried. But I kept thinking, if I stay patient, if primera esta y kind, they'll finally see me. I began to change who I was. I laughed at jokes I didn't find funny. I agreed with opinions I didn't believe in. I pretended to like things just because they liked them. It was like I was slowly erasing myself. But I told myself it was worth it. Because love is about sacrifice, right? That's what I thought. One day, I did something that opened my eyes. They told me about someone they had started dating. I felt my heart drop. But I still said, that's great. I'm happy for you. And in that moment, I realized something painful. No matter how much I gave, no matter how kind, patient, or helpful I was, I could not make someone love me. Love doesn't grow because you beg for it. Love doesn't appear because you try to be perfect. Love is either there, or it isn't. And that truth hurt more than anything. I went home that day and looked at myself in the mirror. I asked myself, when was the last time I did something just for me? When was the last time I said what I really felt? When was the last time I felt proud of who I am? I didn't have answers, because I had spent all my energy trying to be someone else's perfect person instead of being my real self. And the saddest part, they never asked me to change. I did it to myself. That is when I learned the hardest lesson of all. You cannot earn love by losing yourself. Real love doesn't come from proving your worth again and again. Real love comes from someone seeing the real you and choosing you anyway. I was trying to win love like it was a prize. But love isn't a prize you win. It's a connection you share. And you can't build a real connection while hiding who you are. It took time, but I slowly started choosing myself again. I started saying no when I didn't feel okay. I stopped answering messages right away just to seem available. I spent more time with friends who made me feel valued. At first, it felt scary. I thought, what if nobody likes the real me? But something surprising happened. The more I acted like myself, the lighter I felt. The more I respected myself, the less I wanted to chase someone who didn't choose me. One day, I realized I wasn't checking my phone every 5 minutes anymore. I wasn't overthinking every word I said. I wasn't trying to be enough for someone who never asked me to be in their life in that way. And for the first time in a long time, I felt peaceful. Not because someone loved me, but because I finally loved and respected myself. Here's what I want you to understand. If you're going through something similar, if you're trying so hard to make someone love you, if you're changing yourself, shrinking yourself, or hurting yourself just to keep them close, please hear this. You are not supposed to convince someone to love you. You are supposed to be yourself, and let the right person see your value without you having to prove it every day. Love should not feel like a job interview. It should not feel like a performance. It should not feel like you're always one mistake away from being left behind. Real love feels safe. Real love feels calm. Real love doesn't make you feel small. Liking someone who doesn't like you back doesn't mean you are not good enough. It just means they are not your person. And that's okay. Because every time you stop chasing someone who doesn't see your worth, you make space for someone who will. But even more important than that, you make space to become someone you reproved to be. Looking back, I don't hate the person I liked. They didn't do anything wrong. The real lesson wasn't about them. It was about me learning that my love, my time, and my heart are valuable, and they should be given to someone who gives the same back, not to someone I have to convince. So if you're tired of trying, if your heart feels heavy, if you feel like you're never enough for someone, maybe it's not a sign to try harder. Maybe it's a sign to turn that love toward yourself, because the right person will never need you to become someone else to be loved. They'll love you for who you already are. That was the hard lesson I learned. And honestly, I wish someone had told me sooner. But maybe you're hearing it right on time. Thanks for listening. And if this story helped you feel a little less alone, you're already one step closer to the love you deserve. Please subscribe for more stories like this.